Welcome to Norfolk Perspective City Slice. I'm Bob Batcher, and I've got a special treat today to share with you a conversation with Chief Mike Goldsmith. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So we were talking in pre-tape. I mean, you're more than just a police chief. You really, Norfolk knows you as Mike.
Yeah, as I was telling you, my father was in the Navy. We transferred here in 1975, and I've been here ever since. So I've spent the majority of my life in this community in Norfolk. Went to high school here, went to junior high school here, graduated from Old Dominion University. So I'm a product of Norfolk.
Yeah. In fact, I remember when you first were named police chief, but almost 2 years ago now, people said, "Oh yeah, he's a wrestling coach."
Right.
They didn't say wrestling coach. They said wrestling coach. You
Yeah,
still coach?
I have been coaching at Bishop Sullivan Catholic High School. That's the school that I wrestled at in high school back when it was Norfolk Catholic on Granby Street. Ended up, they needed a coach. I was available, so I volunteered, and I've been coaching there ever since.
Well, I've got to tell you, I kind of let you down a little bit because I had that tape all lined up where you were trying to teach me how to do kettlebells. And, it got lost.
Oh, no.
I can't
Terrible.
find it. So we'll let that chapter go by us. But
That's probably a good thing.
how did you land in the police department then?
What happened was, I graduated from Old Dominion. I had a degree in sociology. I was looking for a job that wasn't necessarily, traditional work. I knew I didn't want to be in an office. Law enforcement just appealed to me, and it appealed to me at the local level. It was, I'd watched my father go to work in a uniform for the majority of his life. It just seemed natural to me that I would be doing something along those lines. I talked to some Norfolk officers and some of the work that I'd done in other places. It seemed like a great department. Really was very intrigued by joining, and was fortunate enough to get hired very soon after I graduated from Old Dominion.
So what was your first assignment?
My first assignment was in the 2nd Patrol Division, working a district car with my field training instructor, Officer Randy Millian. And it was, you train for it, you go through the academy, but there's no way to prepare yourself for that first time that you're actually in a police car, expected to do things that police officers do, even with your field training instructor standing beside you. I was fairly nervous.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
you're
okay.
excited, but you still, you really don't know what you're going to face.
Now you also high school sweetheart, the whole bit, right?
Yeah,
So I can see it now. You came home from your first night on duty, and you came home and you said, "Honey, I'm going to be a police chief someday."
No,
it didn't work that way.
Happened. No, we talked about my being a police officer. When they do the background investigation, they send somebody to your house to talk to your spouse to make sure that everything's going okay there. Part of the normal background check that we do. She was fine with me being a police officer, but never once did we talk about where I would end up. My goal when I came on the police department was I just wanted to be in K-9. That was it. That was the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a K-9 officer. I wanted to work with a police dog. I was very fortunate to be able to do that for 6 years in my career, and that was really it. Never once thought about being a chief or being anything for that matter other than a K-9 cop. So
To serve.
right.
So here you are. Been chief for 2 years.
And there's probably still some people.
Life changed a little bit?
It has.
Do you still get nervous?
Yeah, for different reasons now.
Those budget meetings.
That's right.
Okay, so if you go to your next door neighbor and they said, so how's the police department been doing? What do you think they'd say?
I'd say we're doing fine. We have a very dedicated group of men and women out there that are doing the job every day. And I don't know that there's, I know that people appreciate us, but I don't know that there's a true appreciation for what our police officers do on a daily basis. I mean, from, the most critical calls that we'll face, violent crimes of progress, hostage barricades, to, the clearing of an accident scene. I mean, they are part of what makes the city work and part of what keeps the gears going on the public safety front, and they are extremely dedicated to what they do, and they do it well. I'm very proud to be associated with this organization.
Well, and I think I'm probably in the same boat that a lot of people are. What I know about police work, I learned on TV.
There you go.
You know, and so there really isn't an understanding. I know that things have changed over the years. I'm sure you've seen that change.
Yes. You know, when I was hired in 1989, we were just beginning the wave of community policing. And that was the focus of what we were going to do the entire time. It was a real paradigm shift in policing. We started looking at problem solving, getting into neighborhoods, networking with other agencies that could help us, you know, bringing a team sort of approach to trying to not just address, you know, calls for service, but to address the problems, the origins of some of these problems, so that we could do some
crime
problem solving.
prevention would begin.
Exactly, to do those things. And we are rolling along with that and doing very well with it, and then we have 9/11. And what 9/11 did was caused a shift in policing from what we call community-oriented policing to terrorism-oriented policing. Police departments, not just ours, but across the country, you know, especially in areas that we would consider high-density, high-value targets, such as ours, we've had to take a new emphasis on the Homeland Security role and trained our officers in doing things that they had never been tasked with before. You know, we have our special operations team now, for example, Bob, is level A compliant with the hazmat suits. You know, we can operate in that environment if we have to, or we have a cadre of officers that can operate in that environment. We have a maritime unit, I think, that is second to none in our harbor that assists with United States Coast Guard escorts. We do infrastructure checks. There's lots of things that we do that we never had to do prior to 9/11. So I think that's where, you know, policing has been steered by that one major event in our country. Right now, there's a lot of discussion amongst the chiefs about, you know, we really need to, you know, while we can't drop the Homeland Security piece, you know, we need to get back in touch with community policing. So I think what you're going to see is a shift back to really emphasizing that is one of our core missions.
Well, and you embrace that as the new chief with Neighbors Building Neighborhoods and really the community resource officer.
Absolutely.
Key component of that success. So while all this is changing, I mentioned to you, and you didn't really flinch, but you don't flinch. It's training, right?
Yes.
When I mentioned budget meeting, because while these changes all are occurring, there's still the expectation that you're going to get the bad guy off the street.
Right.
You're going to continue doing that core police work. So you've got to really bring a business model to home so it can all be afforded under limited resources, right?
That's correct. What we've done in our department is, you know, we have taken a very hard look at our business processes. And one of the things that we've been able to accomplish is giving our commanding officers a new financial tool to work with. We took our CompStat process, which is a process we use to monitor crime and what's happening in the city crime-wise, and adapted that to holding our CEOs accountable for the financial end of the police department. You know, what we had to do was bring about this understanding that we operate as a business as well, which means that you have a certain amount of resources available to you. You have to allocate those resources properly, and we have to track those resources. You know, this is taxpayer money that we're spending, and we have to be responsible for it. So we developed a system where we used part of our CompStat meeting to hold the commanding officers accountable for what they were spending. And this seems to be working very well for us. Right now, knock on wood, we are, looks like we're going to finish the fiscal year with a slight surplus in our budget. We are going to continue to add to that process so that we can continue to control, you know, that taxpayer money going out. The nice thing is this has been innovative enough that it's been recognized by the International Association of Chiefs of Police. And we had an article written up in last month's Police Chief magazine, and we are actually going to be part of a presentation in Orlando in October to talk about what we've done in our department to manage our department fiscally, as well as, you know, talking about crime statistics.
And this has been really from the bottom up too.
Yes, you can't do any of this. There's no way in the world that we finish on budget without the dedication of the men and women that are working the front line. It takes an understanding on their part that there's a reason why we're doing these things. We had to significantly cut the amount of overtime that was available to our officers. And that presented some challenges to them. You know, we had to adjust some work schedules. because even though we stopped, we significantly curtailed overtime, the work still needed to be done. So they had to find different ways to do it. And I congratulate them on being able to get it done. It was quite an accomplishment to finish this fiscal year the way we have.
Because as a chief, I'm sure you hear every day, but chief, we've always done it this way.
There's a lot of traditional stuff in policing. I can tell you that when we first rolled out this new idea of a financial CompStat, I heard a lot from some of the COs about, well, we've never been trained in this. This is not what we usually do. And, to their credit, once they realized it wasn't going to go away, they embraced it and they started working it, and they worked the system like they needed to, and they've all done their job and done it well.
Let me ask you, we're almost out of time. We're going to have to do some more of this.
Okay.
The role of the resident in crime prevention.
We can't get anything done without our residents cooperating. From being able to give us tips, to assisting us by making sure they're doing the right things, like keeping their cars and doors locked, making sure they're watching out for one another, calling us whenever they see suspicious activity. It really, in a lot of ways, starts with that citizen call or that citizen involvement or that cooperation or coming to a meeting. It's very important that we stay engaged with them.
Okay, I'm going to go back to a Mike Goldsmith question now. Rumor has it, as you were a teenager, you were hanging out at Dumars.
A little bit.
A little bit?
I did, yeah. Dumars was one of the places that my wife and I would go while we were dating. It was tradition for us. We carried that on that, sometimes after church we would take our children up there once we got married and had kids. So it's been a place that we go to on a regular basis.
Well, that was because we just found out just before taping that Hal Dumar has passed today.
Tough.
And he was there keeping an eye on you, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
So those you see those kind of traditions in Norfolk pass, but on the same time, we're still your hometown, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So, Mike, I want to thank you for everything that you've done to really bring to the attention of the role that the police department plays, the role the resident plays, but also some of the challenges facing us in an evolving world right here in Norfolk.
Thanks, Bob. If I could mention one thing, I'd just like to remember that this is National Police Week.
That's right.
We want to remember those officers. We have a celebration coming up. We really want to remember those officers that gave the ultimate sacrifice protecting the city.
I was going to comment that your badge is carrying the memorial ribbon. And
right.
That's something that has to stay with you day in and day out, not just this week, right?
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.